deeply regret the impact that this is having on your families and on your lives.
On strike and off the job, defying a back-to-work order. Air Canada flight attendants continue to walk the picket line.
Tonight, flights grounded, passengers stranded. The immense impact on air travel here at home and around the world. Good evening. Hundreds of flights have been canceled. Air Canada planes sitting idle at Pearson Airport tonight.
An estimated 500,000 flyers have been left in limbo. The flight attendants union defiant. The airline says it's disappointed. We have team coverage tonight. We begin with the latest on the labor dispute and CTV's Sean Leathong. Sean.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, Air Canada had hoped binding arbitration would mean the people who are here right now would be back at work and planes would be in the sky. But they remain defiant, saying that they will stay out as long as it takes.
Marching in defiance. Air Canada's striking flight attendants picket at Pearson, ignoring the federal government's back-to-work order.
The only leverage a union has is the ability to withdraw our labor.
The Canadian Industrial Relations Board calling the strike unlawful. Workers call it something else.
It's a cry for help. What they're yelling right now is our emergency commands that we learn in training to say that we are about to crash land. We need help.
CUPE executive members visiting the picket outside Terminal 1 to reassure members
that we have each and every one of your backs through every step of this. CUPE will be there through the whole way.
At a press conference this afternoon, CUPE National President Mark Hancock saying he's willing to take this as far as necessary.
And if it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it.
They've stood behind us. They've rallied behind us. They gave us a strong mandate. So I'll take whatever consequences come my way to fully represent them.
With the airline grounded, planes sit idle. So far, the federal government seems unwilling to enforce the back-to-work order.
I urge both parties to resolve this as quickly as possible.
Air Canada had hoped for flights to resume this afternoon, instead releasing a statement saying Air Canada has suspended its plan to gradually resume operations after CUPE illegally directed its flight attendant members not to return to work. The union saying there is only one way they will return.
When we get a collective agreement that works for all of you.
Negotiations have not taken place since Friday night, with the union saying Air Canada has not responded to communication. The main issues remaining wages and ground pay, meaning work done when the plane is not flying. The airline CEO defending their last offer.
We believe what we offer from a ground pay perspective will be market leading. And so we've addressed that situation.
But the union disagrees with one message for Air Canada.
Get back to the table. It's as simple as that.
As they wait for an answer.
And just a few moments ago, Air Canada released a statement saying they have canceled their flights at least until tomorrow afternoon. But with no pending talks, it's hard to say when there will be any more flights for Air Canada. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Michelle, send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. And that is the scene outside the airport. Inside the terminal, you'll find countless travelers left scrambling because of the disruptions. Many other Canadians remain trapped overseas, unable to return home. CTV's Allison Hurst joins us live from inside Pearson tonight with that side of the story. Allison.
Michelle, travelers who have been coming to the airport have been going to the desks there behind me. They've been handed these pamphlets, which give them some information, some phone numbers to call, and some links to follow to figure out what their next steps are. Other travelers we've been speaking with, though, have been looking at other airlines or other methods of travel to get where they need to go. Grounded. Both the planes and passengers as the Air Canada strike stretches on.
It's a nightmare. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Torsten Winder and his family are trying to return home to his son and pets in Germany.
We have no hotel, we have no car, we have nothing. And they are not very helpful.
James Numfor and his family of 9 got stuck on their way home to Regina Saturday after arriving from Cameroon, where they went to a funeral.
They gave us a hotel from Saturday when we arrived here to Sunday. Saturday to Sunday. That's it.
According to Air Canada's pamphlet info, labor disruptions are outside their control, so they do not qualify for regulatory compensation. Numfor and his family slept at the airport last night.
We were just hanging around. We were just And right this night, what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do next tomorrow?
He, like others, are actively looking for other ways to get home. Gaia Traversa is trying to get back to Milan on another airline.
We are stuck here, try to rebook our flight. Of course, the price of the flights are illegal.
And many travelers within Canada are considering driving.
We found a car in Ottawa, but I think they're, what, $4,000 each car? Yeah. And then we'd still have to pay for gas and hotels.
There are also Canadians stuck abroad. Cosimo Di Lecce is in Rome.
Massive impact. My wife has a government job, which she cannot attend to. I myself, I'm a contractor. I have a very small artisan painting contracting business, which I have clients waiting for me.
And Kyla Kumar in Portugal.
What other industry and sector in our country would allow this to go on and not force the provider to provide reasonable means to get people home?
Amin Lalji checked out the protest after finding out his flight was canceled.
It's a little inconvenient for us as travelers, but people got to make a living and they got to do right. So power to you guys, do well. Air Canada needs to pony up.
As passengers hope they'll soon be able to get to their destinations. Some of the passengers we've been speaking with who have been lucky enough to get their flights rebooked say they're for several days to come, and there is still no certainty that they'll take off. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. Also tonight, a whirlwind experience and welcome distraction amid great hardship. Families displaced by wildfires invited to spend the day at Wonderland. We were there for the excitement.
And beautiful sunshine to hit up a theme park and enjoy all things outdoors. And did you notice it is much cooler than it was last week? A freshness in the air as nature lays off the furnace. This is the kind of weather many would order up for a day at the X, perhaps. And that is where we find our Lindsay Morrison this evening, taking in the sights and sounds on this first full week of this summer staple. Lindsay.
Michelle, it is a marvelous day here on the Midway. Perfect temperature, the sun is shining, and is everyone having fun?
Yeah!
Why don't we say hi, Nathan and Michelle?
Hi, Nathan and Michelle!
Yeah, making some new friends down here. We're enjoying the sights, the sounds, the foods, and the rides. Is everyone having fun on the rides tonight? Yeah, I thought so. Just take a look around. It's a great night to be out here. Everyone enjoying the conditions. It has been nice and comfortable today. Perfect opportunity to maybe enjoy some ice cream or one of those world famous donuts. I'm going to check out some of the food myself, I promise. Promised I'd try something rather unique while we're here. But we, of course, also have to talk about the weather. You guys like the conditions tonight, right? Yeah, it's very nice. Here's a look at our current temperature. It's not too hot out here, certainly not too cool. You might say it's just right. Temperatures in the low 20s around the GTA. And as we take a look at the winds, yeah, it's been a little bit windy today. Those winds coming out of an easterly direction, a nice breeze if you ask me. And on the satellite and radar, there really isn't much to show you here. We are looking at clear skies through the night tonight, calm conditions, but see that wet weather off to the west? That's going to impact us into the day tomorrow. Here's a look at your evening forecast. If you're coming down to the CNE, the Midway lights are going to come on and it's going to be a spectacular evening. We are live at the X, and Nathan and Michelle, I've been gifted this corn dog. It is covered in fruity pebbles. What do you think, guys? Should I give it a try?
Yeah.
All right, bear with me. Oh my God, look at that. Okay. That's weirdly delicious. I'm gonna enjoy this, maybe share with my friends. For now, Nathan and Michelle, I'll send it back to you. Full forecast coming up. Say bye, Nathan and Michelle.
Bye, Nathan and Michelle.
Bye, kids.
We love you. Ooh, that looks good. Mix of salty and sweet. It makes sense. All right, still ahead, Ontario's Premier and the Prime Minister meet face-to-face in Ottawa. Ford and Carney with a lot to discuss on the trade front. We'll tell you how it went. But first, we have some breaking news to share with you this hour. A crash involving a Peel police cruiser. Our CTV News chopper is live over the scene at Chinguacousy Road and Bonnie Braes Drive this hour. Peel paramedics are also on the scene assessing the situation. There's no word on any injuries tonight or what may have led to this crash. We'll continue to follow this developing story.
A woman is dead after she was struck by a vehicle in Brampton this morning. It happened near Countryside Road and Airport Road around 7:15. Peel police say the woman was hit by a pickup truck. She was rushed to hospital where she later died. Police say the driver of the truck remained at the scene and is cooperating with investigators.
Meanwhile, a motorcyclist was seriously injured after being struck by a fire truck in the city's West End. This happened in the area of Shepherd Avenue West and Jane Street around 6:45 a.m. The person on the motorcycle was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries.
I just hope that the gentleman's okay. I'm sure the fire truck driver's pretty shaken up himself. His job's to save lives, and I can only imagine what he's going through, too.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's a bit disturbing. I won't lie. It's a bit disturbing. That's sad. I hope the person pulls through.
The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Anyone who might have dash camera or cell phone footage of the incident is asked to contact police.
We have more tonight on the murder of an 8-year-old boy struck by a stray bullet in North York over the weekend.
While police continue to search for those responsible, the young victim's mother says she wants her son's name to become a beacon of light for those hoping to stop gun violence in Toronto. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Jave Roy's mom shared new pictures and video of him on social media on Monday.
And just a happy little guy. Like, genuinely a good kid.
A good kid, just 8 years old, as he lay in bed with his mom at this building at Martha Eaton Way and Trethewey Drive in the early hours of Saturday morning. His mom wrote in a social media post, "My baby was preparing for one of his best friend's birthday celebrations. He was so excited he couldn't sleep." That's when gunfire began and Jave was hit by a stray bullet. "There was nothing I can do but scream and hold his lifeless little body. I cannot get that image out of my head," Roy wrote. "Remember his name, never forget his name. I promise, baby, your name will not go in vain and everybody will know it, and Mommy's going to go hard for justice, baby," she said. Roy said she wants Jave's body to be returned to a First Nation on Manitoulin Island.
My name is Jave. I am 6 years old.
Jave was featured only 2 years ago in a video by the 1x1 movement against gangs.
Being nice. Be nice.
Hopefully this can be a beacon of light.
1x1's founder, Marcel Wilson, a former gang member himself, said Jave's death should spark change.
That this is finally the point where people are fed up and had enough.
Police haven't released any suspect information so far and are appealing for witnesses. The shooting got the attention of Toronto's police chief, who visited with the Roy family over the weekend, and Toronto's mayor, who vowed action.
It's sad, it's tragic, it's cruel, it's horrendous.
Toronto's year-to-date homicide statistics are down substantially, just 26 so far this year, compared with 54 in the same period last year. Wilson did have words for anyone looking to get revenge.
You want to harm this person because they harmed someone you love. Don't become what they are.
He says that's not what Jave would have wanted. John Woodward, CTV News.
Meantime, police are looking for 2 male suspects in a shooting this morning in Scarborough. It happened near an apartment building in the Danforth and Midland area just before 12:30. A man in his 20s was shot and taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Investigators say the 2 suspects were wearing black clothing. They're asking anybody with information to come forward.
The Prime Minister got together with Ontario's Premier in Ottawa today. With the ongoing trade war and no new Canada-U.S. trade deal in sight, the two had quite a bit to discuss.
CTV's Rachel Aiello has details on Doug Ford's push for Mark Carney to cut red tape and taxes to ease the burden many businesses are facing.
What would you like to talk to Mark Carney about today?
Oh, we just have a lot of things.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford arrived on Parliament Hill today with lots to talk to Prime Minister Mark Carney about.
Well, we'll talk about the housing sector, we'll talk about steel, auto, new sectors of the economy, including artificial intelligence, what we're doing in terms of making Canada competitive.
It was their first face-to-face meeting since the latest round of trade talks with U.S. President Donald Trump fell apart.
We know President Trump's unpredictable. We have to find out what we need to do to make sure that we create the environment and conditions for companies from around the world to continue investing in Canada.
Yeah.
And we'll have that discussion.
I think we're working well together, but we've got more to do and get it done.
Both emerged from behind closed doors an hour later, saying they were on the same page.
Very good meeting with the Premier.
But they were non-committal about any immediate action that would put money back into businesses' bank accounts or ease regulatory burdens while they're still facing tariffs.
We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room.
It remains murky where trade talks stand, but for his part, Ford has no plans to travel to Washington anytime soon.
When they need me, I'll be down there, giving my colleague Howard Lutnick a little poke.
Oh, do you think he needs one?
He needs a couple more pokes than me. Don't worry, I'll poke him.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc was in the room for the meeting, but left without answering reporters' questions about the state of negotiations with the Americans. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump hosted his Ukrainian counterpart today, with both leaders expressing hope it could lead to trilateral talks with Russia's leader to bring an end to Moscow's war on Ukraine. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
The Ukrainian president arrived at the White House dressed in a black suit instead of his usual military uniform. Donald Trump took notice.
First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Vladimir Zelensky also made sure he voiced his appreciation for the president's effort to end Russia's war on Ukraine.
Thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war.
But the devil is in the details, and Zelensky wants to make sure the plan Trump discussed with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska will respect Ukraine's sovereignty. Speaking with reporters, Trump said a deal can be worked out without a ceasefire.
We can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other.
On social media, Trump said on Sunday that Zelensky can end the war if it gives up Crimea and membership in NATO. Russia took over Crimea in 2014, and after 3.5 years of war, it controls almost all of the Donbas region in southeast Ukraine. Putin wants Ukraine to give up territory as a condition for peace.
When we talk about security, we're talking about the security not just of Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe.
To prevent Ukraine's interests from being subverted in a deal brokered by the U.S. and Russia, 7 European leaders from Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, the European Union, and NATO's Secretary General traveled to Washington to stand with Zelensky to warn against trusting Putin and fight for security guarantees.
We're going to try and get a 3-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can.
Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Polls close in about 4 hours in a by-election in Alberta that could see Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre return to the House of Commons.
I don't think he'll do anything for us because he'll just be another puppet.
I think he's perfect to represent this riding.
Poilievre is one of a record 214 candidates vying to win Battle River Crowfoot. It's considered one of the safest Conservative seats in the country. The majority of the other candidates are part of a protest group that wants changes to Canada's electoral system. Poilievre is in the running after he lost his Ottawa seat in the April general election.
Canada's home building is picking up, but not fast enough, according to a national housing agency. CTV's Maria Saru reports from PEI, a province punching above its weight, but still struggling through the crunch.
Homes are taking shape across Charlottetown, construction crews working hard. For its size, PEI is building at roughly double the national rate, according to the newest numbers.
We're small, but we're very resilient. We like to get things done.
But like other provinces, the island can't keep up with demand or the pace needed to restore pre-pandemic affordability by 2035, according to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. In July, Canada's home building was 4% faster than in June, at about 294,000 homes per year. But that's still far from the CMHC's affordability benchmark of 430,000 to 480,000 home starts per year. This home I'm standing in is a work in progress, greenlit well before today. One of the reasons for the building bump is that pre-planned projects like this one are going ahead. But the National Housing Agency says that doesn't reflect current investor appetite. In fact, the CMHC is projecting a slowdown later this year.
We've been in a context where the economy has been quite uncertain. We've been facing geopolitical uncertainty as well.
While tariffs and higher costs are making homes harder to finance, the Construction Association of PEI's executive director says there are bigger challenges.
Shortage of skilled people will continue to be a problem, in the years to come.
So builders here say they need more help to turn frames into finished homes. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
In cottage country, those two wildfires in the Kawartha Lakes area are still under control. That means they're not expected to expand any further. The wildfires are among 707 currently burning across the country. 68 are considered out of control. The federal government gave an update today.
This wildfire season is now Canada's second worst on record in terms of hectares burned, and wildfires have consumed an area roughly the size of New Brunswick. And to put it in perspective, this is about double the usual average.
Firefighters and equipment are currently deployed in every province and territory across Canada. And there's a likelihood that large fires burning now will continue well into the fall. Forecasters say western provinces and the East Coast should remain on alert for the possibility of more wildfire activity throughout the rest of summer.
And thousands of people forced from their homes remained displaced by the wildfires.
Today, some of them were treated to a much-needed distraction thanks to Canada's Wonderland. CTV's Rahim Ladani has more on a day they'll likely never forget.
They're one of thousands of people who have been evacuated from their homes, displaced by wildfires burning in Manitoba, and have been living in Niagara Falls.
Really rough. I miss the trees, the fresh water, and being out in the lake in our cabin. I miss that. And it's hard being in the city.
While the adjustment has been challenging, getting to ride the roller coasters at Wonderland is a welcome distraction.
I always wanted to be here. I always wanted to come here.
It's a distraction for the grandchildren. I think they're going to really enjoy it.
I'm going to try the scariest roller coaster at least once.
250 members of the Matthias Kalom Cree Nation, also known as Puckatawagan, and members of Nelson House First Nation are at the park today, with possibly another group later in the week.
Canada's Wonderland has partnered with Xpera, Canada's largest national risk mitigation firm. Over the last 4 years, this partnership has hosted around 4,000 First Nation members who have been displaced by fires and flooding.
We're here in the business of fun, but we want to put particular effort towards those families who are perhaps going through a hard time, and give them at least one day, to look forward to.
Creating joyful memories during a time of hardship. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Coming up, gearing up for back to school, an exciting giveaway outside Sick Kids Hospital as patients prepare to attend the hospital's own classrooms tailored to their needs.
I'm Pat Four, and coming up on Consumer Alert, if you drive in Ontario, you must have liability insurance, but you can pay extra for collision and comprehensive coverage. But what happens if someone vandalizes your vehicle? Who is responsible to pay the deductible? All of that story, that's just ahead.
We are live here at the CNE, and see this ride behind me? Yeah, I think I want to go for a ride. So we're going to check this out coming up here on CTV News. But we, of course, have to talk about the weather, too. It's been a cooler day today. In fact, it's been our coolest day in weeks. As we make our way into the night tonight, and we're going to cool down a little bit again. It's not going to be quite as cool as it was overnight last night and into this morning. But a change is coming as the week goes on. So we'll talk about that coming up. There's your look at your seasonal norm, 25 degrees. And tomorrow it is going to feel like 30 again. Again, we are live here at the CNE. Lots to come. And stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
Drivers in Ontario are legally required to have liability coverage as part of their auto insurance, and most pay extra for collision and comprehensive coverage.
Comprehensive insurance will repair your car in the event it's vandalized, but you'll still be on the hook to pay the deductible. Here's Pat Foran with a Consumer Alert.
A driver who had his car vandalized while waiting at a red light feels it's unfair he has to pay a $500 deductible, and he worries his insurance could go up even though he did nothing wrong.
Randomly, someone just attacks your vehicle.
Rana Mashoud of Scarborough says he was returning home after a night out with friends when he was stopped at a red light. That's when a woman, without warning, started kicking the front of his vehicle.
She made a hand gesture, like as if she was pointing a gun. And then she ran up to my vehicle and started kicking it.
Mashoud says in a matter of seconds, his car was extremely damaged.
My whole front bumper, my grille is broken, my camera is broken. I have my sensors that are damaged. One of my headlights is gone.
He called the police and the woman was arrested, but he was upset to find out he would have to pay the $500 deductible, even though he feels he did nothing wrong.
You're the one who has to pay your own deductible because this is not another vehicle that hit you. It was a pedestrian.
Mashoud is insured with Allstate, and a spokesperson told CTV News deductibles are a standard component of many auto insurance policies, and that where possible, Allstate will pursue recovery from the responsible party and reimburse the customer's deductible if successful.
It is very standard in every auto insurance policy where you have optional physical damage coverage that there is a deductible.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says while Mashoud will have to pay the deductible, he can try to get the person to reimburse him by going to court.
There is the potential of the driver taking the offender to small claims court to recoup their deductible.
Mashoud says he feels it's unfair that a person can vandalize his car and not have to pay to repair it.
As just an innocent person, it doesn't make any sense to not only have my vehicle damaged, but at the same time be liable for a deductible.
You can have an insurance policy with a zero deductible so you have no out-of-pocket expenses when you make a claim. However, you'll pay a higher premium as the insurance company is taking on more risk. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, let's talk about the forecast. And, you know, weather really, for me, great to be at the X, not too hot. And also the food is also the reason for me to go.
Oh, that food. It looked good when you sampled there. And are you on a ride right now, Lindsay? Are you up in the air? I see the CN Tower right behind your head. How picturesque.
This is a pretty cool place to do the weather from, Michelle and Nathan. I'm not going to lie. One of the best views in the city at this time of year is right here at the CNE on the Ferris wheel. I highly recommend you come down and check it out. And I'm joined by none other than Mark Collins, CEO of the CNE. How's it going? We're a couple of days in.
Phenomenal. Yeah, huge energy. The numbers are up. We've had incredible weather, like really ideal summer weather. What a way to usher in the end of summer and soak up the last days of the summer here at the X.
Yeah, and I mean, the weekend was hot. Today is a little more comfortable. Depending on how you like your summer weather, you kind of get a little bit of everything. And I don't want to spoil it yet, but this week is looking pretty good too. What can people enjoy if they want to come down and check out this year's edition of the X?
Well, we've got an incredible music lineup. So tonight we've got Moist, we've got 98 Degrees coming up. We have the Commodores, July Talk. So huge bands, Rural Alberta Advantage. And of course we have Mythos, which is our interactive cultural exhibit. Got huge interest in that. And we have Super Dogs. And if you want to beat the heat, nothing better than the ice skating show with Elvis Stoico. So we got something for everybody here, along with incredible food and other experiences.
And incredible views. I mean, check this out again. So cool to see our city from this vantage point. And we've mentioned it a couple of times. The weather, just spectacular. Any advice for people who want to come down and check this out? They still have 2 weeks to come and enjoy it, right?
Well, come and book a lot of time and take a look at all the things that are there. Like there's things you wouldn't necessarily think of, like the championship wrestling, which is huge fun, getting a lot of uptake on that. So we have show times all throughout the day. So look at the website, plan your day. There's so much more here than I think people recognize. Usually you can spend a whole day and then cap it off with great music at the band shell at night.
And maybe cap it off with some great food and a ride on the Ferris wheel. Thanks so much, Mark. Let's get to your forecast because, yes, there is lots to talk about. Today was a more refreshing day, if you will, compared to the last many weeks of the summer. In fact, today was our coolest day that we've had since the first week of June, I believe. So that's a big change. 20 degrees this hour in Toronto, 23 in Windsor, and 21 in Ottawa, 21 degrees for you in Muskoka. Through the night tonight, we're going to drop to a low near 17 degrees. The norm is 16, so we're not too far off the mark. This morning, it was 13 degrees, so you might have noticed a little bit of a chill in the air. Tomorrow, we return to a little bit of heat and humidity. 25 degrees, nice and comfortable. It will feel more like 30 once you take that humidex into account. But notice the icon. We do expect a little more cloud for tomorrow and a chance of showers as well. So let's get to that part of your weather forecast. Your best chance of seeing some wet weather is going to come as we make our way into tomorrow late afternoon and early evening. So here's the forecast radar. In fact, late morning it's possible that we could see a few showers as well. Any thunderstorms that we get later on in the afternoon and evening, likely to be non-severe in nature, but you can see that it is a widespread area expected to be impacted. So plan ahead. If you maybe have the kids have a soccer practice or a baseball game, you might need the wet weather gear. Heading into Wednesday, though, chance of showers again. It's going to be very spotty, very hit or miss. I think you're good to go ahead and continue with your outdoor plans. And then Thursday, not only are we clearing back out, but we're warming back up. Here is the 7-day forecast. So we go from 23 degrees on Wednesday to about 26 for Thursday. That's nice and comfortable and seasonal. Friday, if you're missing the heat, it's coming back Friday. 29 degrees is going to feel more like 32. And then there's an early look at your weekend, mainly cloudy for Saturday, 27 degrees. Chance of showers into the day on Sunday. If you're just joining us, we are live here on CTV News from the top of the Ferris wheel at the CNE. Can't think of a better place to broadcast the weather from tonight. It is an absolutely lovely evening. Nathan and Michelle, I'm going to send it back inside to you.
Such a great view. It looks like fun. Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, bringing small pieces together to create a large work of art. We highlight the Unity Art exhibit and see how artists explore the theme of forming the Canadian mosaic.
Children all across the province are getting ready to return to school. We're now just a couple of weeks away.
And the young patients at the hospital for sick children are no different. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more on how they're preparing.
Grab the zipper and pull.
5-year-old Austin gets a hand going through the cool items in his new backpack.
What attracted Austin to the backpack was the bright, like the bright green he has.
But before he starts grade 1, he's got heart surgery scheduled for this week.
Sick Kids has been his first home. He spent the first 490 days at Sick Kids, and we never thought that he would be here today. Austin was born with a congenital heart defect, so it's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Short form is HLHS, so he only has half a heart. For him, going to school, it's the socialization with friends. So he doesn't really learn in a regular setting, which we're still working on all that.
They have classrooms here at Sick Kids. We have an elementary epilepsy classroom that allows those kids who need a little bit of extra support, both with their educational programs as well as with any of their medical needs, to come to a classroom and have as normal experience as possible. That's for kids from grade 2 to 8.
The hospital also offers classes for teens who often express anxiety about being able to graduate with their classmates.
Any item that's in the backpack is really helpful to build the confidence and reduce some stress as our patients are starting the beginning of their school year.
This is the 20th year that Staples has had its school supplies drive and the first year that it's partnered with Sick Kids Hospital.
And while the backpacks are useful, many kids got just as big a kick
That was easy.
out of being able to honk the horn on the big Staples bus parked in front of the hospital. Kids also had a chance to mingle with friends and play some games. A day of fun before the schoolwork begins. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Oh no, a major intersection that was closed for much of the summer reopened this morning. King and Church had been closed since early June as crews repaired and replaced 142-year-old water mains along with sidewalks in the area. The TTC was also carrying out streetcar track renewal work. King streetcars will still be diverted around the area while the new tracks are tested, but replacement buses will resume service in the area.
A touring exhibit celebrating Canadian artists has made its way to the GTA. It's called Unity and has taken over Etobicoke's Nielsen Park Creative Centre. CTV's Jessica Smith has the details.
Telling a story through art, piece by piece.
Mosaics is such a medium that it's really up to the artist's imaginations, totally.
Unity is an exhibition by the not-for-profit group Mosaic Artists of Canada. The show brings together 34 Canadian artists with over 50 pieces on display.
What this exhibit is about bringing Canadians, mosaic artists together and showing the diversity of our country through the styles.
Made from a wide variety of materials, foraged, recycled, and reclaimed, each work of art has its own story to tell.
People can use all kinds of different materials. They can use traditional materials such as smalty, which is a traditional mosaic glass, or they can use stone and marble.
With artists both internationally known and new into the arts world, the show gives patrons the chance to see one-of-a-kind works of art.
Really want to promote Canadian mosaic artists. And they're a diverse group because they come from all across the country, and that is reflected in their own culture and their own identity and the part of the country they live in.
The exhibition will culminate with an awards ceremony mid-September and a series of artist talks and workshops. Unity is free to attend and will be here at the Nielsen Park Creative Centre until September 20th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
After the break, the impact of a Canadian-imposed tariff on stainless steel. The largest distributor in the country calls on the government to stabilize the market and warns of massive price hikes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The only leverage a union has is the ability to withdraw our labor.
Updating our top stories, Air Canada flight attendants are defying the federal government's back-to-work order. Their union insists it's willing to go the distance to get a fair collective deal. The airline says all flights remain suspended through 4 p.m. tomorrow. Negotiations have not taken place since Friday night.
We have no hotel, we have no car, we have nothing. And they are not very helpful.
Thousands of passengers continue to face another day of travel disruptions. Air Canada says it was caught off guard by the union's defiance of the back-to-work order. Meanwhile, the government is launching a probe into allegations of unpaid work in the airline sector. One of the key complaints from the union is workers are not paid for duties performed before takeoff.
We know President Trump's unpredictable. We have to find out what we need to do to make sure that we create the environment and conditions for companies from around the world to continue investing in Canada. Yeah. And we'll have that discussion.
The Premier was in Ottawa today for a meeting with the Prime Minister. Mark Carney said they would discuss the housing, steel, and auto sectors, among other topics. There were not many details afterward, but both said they're on the same page.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos, or video of breaking news, let us know.
The number of Air Canada flights being canceled is growing, and so is the cost of this strike. B&M Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
Analysts are crunching the numbers and estimate the strike could cost Air Canada $200 million, even if the action ends this week. That estimate's coming from Canaccord Genuity. The strike has led Air Canada to suspend its financial forecast for 2025. The company had predicted it would make between $3.2 and $3.6 billion in 2025. Shares in Air Canada dropped today by almost 3%. There are far fewer shovels in the ground in Toronto's housing market this year than last. Housing starts dropped 69% in Canada's largest city, but starts are up more than 200% in Montreal and 24% in Vancouver year over year. Equifax says 1.4 million Canadians missed a credit payment in the last 3 months. That's actually down from the first part of the year. But total consumer debt sits at $2.6 billion. That's up 3% from last year. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar slightly up today to 72.44. West Texas Intermediate moved up to 63.42. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down to 50.33. And not a lot of movement on the TSX today. It dropped 17 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The beer store is planning to close a dozen more locations this fall. Stores at Logan and Gerrard, Don Mills and Steeles, and Don Mills and Finch will close their doors October 19th. The beer store says the closures are part of a modernization process. More than 80 locations have been closed or are set to be shut down in Ontario this year.
It wasn't imposed by Donald Trump, but a new tariff put in place by the Canadian government has some local businesses and municipal leaders concerned. It's on stainless steel. And as CTV's John Musselman reports, it has some industry experts warning of massive price increases on infrastructure projects.
Pinnacle Stainless Steel is the largest stainless steel distributor in Canada. They don't make it here. It's imported from Taiwan and stored in warehouses like this across the country. At this location in Mississauga, the pipes are cut up, molded, and prepared for use in critical infrastructure projects nationwide.
Water, wastewater, oil, gas, the LNG pipeline, the SMR projects coming up for the OPG power plants, shipbuilding, hospitals, food, beverage, agricultural, farming.
Shane Goff is the company GM. He has warehouses across Canada. He says clients, including municipalities, are facing massive price hikes on stainless steel orders.
I won't say the job, but it was about $2 million of stainless pipe for a plant in Toronto. Now it's going to be about $2.5 to $3 million just for the raw cost. So that's one little project. There's hundreds, thousands of these across Canada.
And Goff says clients and taxpayers, if it's a municipal job, will pick up those extra costs. The issue is related to the Government of Canada implementing tariff rate quotas this summer on imports of steel mill products from non-free trade agreement partners. Quote, this measure will help stabilize the Canadian market and prevent harmful diversion of foreign steel from third countries into Canada while minimizing impacts on Canadian importers and downstream users. But stainless steel is produced on a limited basis in Canada, not enough to meet demand, and Goff says that's why it should be exempt.
I think just about every single client is concerned. A lot of them have taken projects a year ago at lower cost. Now they have to absorb these larger costs.
Industry experts have written both the federal and provincial governments calling for an exemption on stainless steel, which they believe was an oversight when the tariff rate quotas were put in place. John Musselman, CTV News.
The general manager of the Toronto Raptors has had his contract extended, and he is taking on an additional role. Bobby Webster will be put in charge of the team's basketball operations. One of the architects of Toronto's 2019 championship says he is really thankful for the opportunity, insisting he will make the most of it. Webster is entering his 9th season as GM with the Raps.
He hits this ball to deep left field, and it is gone.
Former Toronto Blue Jay Marcus Semien homered as the Texas Rangers won 10-4 yesterday, avoiding a 3-game sweep at Rogers Center. Tonight, the Jays begin a road trip with a 5-game lead atop the American League East. They're in Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates, a team that has lost 7 of their last 10 games. Kevin Gosman starts for Toronto.
Canada is leading the way when it comes to volunteering to work at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Toronto and Vancouver rank 1-2 among the 16 host cities in the number of applications. There have been more than 565,000 total volunteer applications to date, more than 180,000 of them in Canada. Organizers expect to use about 65,000 volunteers, including 6,000 in this country. Volunteers will provide support at stadiums, training sites, airports, hotels, and more. 6 matches will be played at Toronto's BMO Field.
Still to come, on the hunt for eggs at the Nashville Zoo. How the oversized ovals are helping a couple of rare leopard cubs grow and learn. Details after the break.
It is a clear evening to be out and about at the CNE or anywhere across the region, and the temperature not so oppressive, definitely comfortable tonight. What's to come this week? We'll have your weather forecast when we return.
Tonight, refusing to return to work.
If it means folks
like me, going to jail, then so be it.
The escalating bitter labor battle and how soon stranded Air Canada passengers could fly again. Later on CTV National News.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Clouded leopards are among the rarest of the cat species and one of the most secretive, so they've proved difficult to breed in captivity.
But the Nashville Zoo has been quite successful and is now showcasing 2 of its cubs with adorable results. The zoo is using oversized eggs to help with the 11-week-olds with their hunting and pouncing skills. Clouded leopards are native to the tropical lowlands of Southeast Asia in countries such as Nepal and Bangladesh. But they're considered vulnerable to extinction due to deforestation, poaching, and the pet trade. 62 of the cats live at the zoos that are members of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. That includes 14 at the Nashville Zoo. Very cute.
From leopards to Lindsay, who's been exploring the CNE. Let's check in. Hey, Lindsay.
Nathan and Michelle, we're trying something a little different here at the CNE. A little technical difficulty, but that's okay. I played a game of whack-a-mole. I won this adorable Highland cow, or Highland King, as you can say. And it's really just been a magical night here at the CNE. Just one more look at your weather heading into the day tomorrow. Nice start to the morning, and then in the afternoon, we're looking at a chance of showers. Risk of a non-severe thunderstorm, and it is going to be slightly warmer than it was today. Again, it's been absolutely gorgeous. Check out the scenery here at the CNE. You can see just how great it is to spend some time on the Midway when things start to, the sun starts to set, the lights come on, and we've had a really great time spending it here with you. So my new friend Harry and I are going to go maybe check out another ride. I think the Polar Express, and perhaps enjoy a funnel cake. But for now, I'll send it back inside to you. Have a great evening.
Bye, Harry.
Bye. Have that funnel cake after the Polar Express. I think that's the way to go. All right, thank you so much. That's it for us. But Omar Sachedina is back tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.